Hey friends, today we're going to show you how to put together your first home recording studio. We'll look at what options are out there that best fit your use case and budget, what hardware and software you're going to need, and I'll share tips along the way that'll help you avoid some of the challenges I had when first starting out. Before we get started, all the products we talk about here today, including the ones that I use, are linked in the video description below. They are affiliate links, meaning I get a small cut if you use them to buy something, which in turn helps out the channel. Anyway, let's get started. Home recording solutions fall into two main categories: multi-track tabletop recorders like the Zoom R8 or Tascam DP3, which are all-in-one hardware solutions that record directly to an SD card, have a built-in mixer, drum machine, a pair of onboard microphones, and depending on the model, have a variety of inputs, effects, and samples. And then there's digital audio workstations, or DAWs for short, which is software that runs on a PC or Mac like Pro Tools, Logic, Cubase, Reaper. These solutions come with a wide range of features, including virtual instruments, plugins, and are packed with everything you need to record, edit, and produce audio. Now, each has its advantages depending on what you already have, what you're looking to do, and how much you're willing to spend. All-in-one tabletop recorders have a much lower price point, come with optional battery power, and are ready to use out of the box, usually without requiring any additional hardware or software. The downside to these is that your work area is limited to the small onboard LCD screen and buttons and knobs for recording and editing. Digital audio workstations have all the recording and editing functionality of the all-in-one units right from your desktop or laptop. Your project work area is considerably larger, limited only by the size of your displays. Most importantly, DAWs provide the convenience and flexibility for advanced workflows, like recording voiceovers for video or routing audio to another input source like OBS for live streaming. The major downside of a DAW is cost. You have the cost of the software itself, which ranges from $60 on the low end for Reaper to $800 a year for a subscription to Pro Tools Ultimate. You'll also need an additional piece of hardware called an audio interface, which connects to your PC or Mac via USB and provides inputs for your instruments and microphones and outputs for your monitor speakers and headphones. These range anywhere in price from $90 on the low end to $1,000 or more, depending on your input requirements. It's also a good time to mention that higher-end all-in-one recording solutions like the Zoom R16 and R24 can also function as an audio interface and control surface for your DAW, meaning when you're not using the unit as a standalone recording solution, you can connect it to your PC or Mac via USB and utilize all its onboard inputs and buttons and knobs for recording and editing within your digital audio workstation. Now let's talk microphones. If you're recording classical or acoustic guitar like me, small diaphragm condenser microphones, like a pair of SE7s, which I use, are a great place to start. Prior to the SE7s, I used a pair of Licks Pro SPDC2s, which served me well for many years. For recording vocals and podcasts in your home studio, large diaphragm condenser microphones, like the Rode NT1A, or hypercardioid dynamic microphones, like the Audio-Technica AT2040, will do the job. For recording louder things like drum kits, standard cardioid dynamic microphones like the Shure SM57 is money. Now let's talk cables. You'll need a few different types of cables depending on your setup and what you're looking to record. You'll need straight XLR cables to connect your microphones, TRS quarter-inch cables for electric instruments like guitar and bass, balanced XLR to TRS cables if you plan to connect a pair of studio monitor speakers, and TRS to XLR cables for connecting to an external device like a mixer. If there's one area you should avoid going cheap on, it's cables. Higher-end cables, like the Monoprice Premier Series, which I use, tend to provide better shielding, have heavier gauge wiring, and sturdier connector housings than the Amazon Basics version of the same cable. Now, why is this so important? Every environment is different, and depending on where you're setting up your home studio, these environmental factors could cause problems for you when you go to press record. I'm talking specifically about electromagnetic interference. Things like antennas, satellite dishes, washing machines, your fridge, even certain types of lights can cause EMI, creating noise in your home studio recordings. A great example of this noise can be heard in my Hades guitar medley, which was the first recording I made after moving into this new house. Listen closely and see if you can hear it. Can you hear it? It took over a month of troubleshooting, visits from multiple electricians, swapping and upgrading all my gear. Nothing helped. Even with all the power turned off at the breaker, I could still hear the noise when monitoring and recording using only my laptop. The fix at the end of the day was better cables. So TLDR, invest in good cables. So that was a lot of info. Let's recap. To put together your first home studio, you'll need either an all-in-one solution like the Zoom R8 or R16, which are portable and basically come with everything you need to start recording right out of the box, or a digital audio workstation, which is software that runs on your PC or Mac like Cubase or Pro Tools that provides the most flexibility and functionality when recording and editing audio. An audio interface like the Focusrite Scarlett 8i6, which is hardware that connects to your PC or Mac that provides all the necessary inputs and outputs for recording and playing back audio in your digital audio workstation. Microphones like the SE Electronics SE7 for acoustic instruments or the NT1A for podcasts and vocals. And cables to connect everything together. Remember, don't go cheap on the cables. I hope you found this video helpful. Check out the video description below for more info and links to everything we talked about here today. If you want to see more content like this from me in the future, or if you have any questions, drop me a comment below. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.